When it comes to work gloves, sometimes I feel like a human pincushion. They don't seem to offer very good protection, and they just don't seem to last very long either. We have a whole bunch of different brands to test today, so let's get the testing underway and see which brand is the best. In the first test, we'll see which brands best protect the hands and fingers from impact. Then we'll see which brand protects against splinters and thorns. It doesn't take long for me to wear holes through gloves, so we're going to test that too. Finally, we'll see which brand does the best job from protecting against cuts. Have you ever used PVC dotted gloves as work gloves? These are very affordable at only $1.20, and we're going to see how these compare to the heavy-duty work gloves. The brand claims to be comfortable and economical. The cotton will only get softer the more you wash it. Made in China. Several brands claim to offer back-of-hand and finger protection. So let's test that first using this coil spring test device. To serve as our control, let's test the 3/4 inch wooden dowel without gloves first. The dowel is right at 19.05 millimeters or 3/4 of an inch. Wow, that caused a lot of damage to both sides of the wooden dowel. Let's measure the damage on each side of the wooden dowel, and then we'll see if the work gloves offer better protection. The test device has a sharper edge on the side that will impact the back of the gloves, and the diameter of the dowel, including the side that will be impacting on the back of the gloves, is 17.36 millimeters. So that's a 1.72 millimeter dent. The diameter of the dowel to include the damage to the palm side is 17.69 millimeters, which is a 1.39 millimeter dent. Up next, I'll place this wooden dowel inside the index finger of each of the gloves, and we'll test them to see how much damage is caused. Unfortunately, these gloves just did not hold up very well to this test. You can see there's a big gaping hole in the back side of the glove. The front side of the glove did do a little bit better, but there's still a hole in the glove. There's a 0.75 millimeter dent to the palm side and a 1.29 millimeter dent to the back of hand side of the wooden dowel. So even though the cloth glove has holes in it, it actually provided some protection, especially the front side of the glove with the PVC dots. The second least expensive brand at a very affordable $13 are these Amazon Basics gloves. Amazon Basics quality work gloves are for outdoor, maintenance, and mechanical jobs. Enhanced palm padding to diminish vibration. Constructed with durable synthetic leather. Protects your hands from abrasion while performing a wide variety of tasks. The Amazon Basics gloves are made in China. There's quite a bit of damage to the back side of the Amazon Basics glove. While the tester did leave a mark, it didn't cut all the way through the glove. At 0.64 millimeters to the front side, Amazon Basics has a 15% smaller dent than the PVC dotted gloves. The back of the glove had a 1.02 millimeter dent, which is 21% smaller than the PVC dotted gloves. At a price of $14 is this VGO brand. Touchscreen compatible thumb and index finger for smartphone control. 180-degree covered fingertips with 3D cutting. Machine washable for easy cleaning and maintenance. Soft terry cloth with strong sweat absorption. Impact and vibration reduction. The VGO brand is made in China. The tester actually cut through the front side of the VGO glove. However, the back side of the glove held up just fine. Even though the tester did cut through the glove at only 0.43 millimeters, the VGO had a 33% smaller dent than the Amazon Basics. The back side was even better at only 0.38 millimeters. At a price of $19 is this Westchester brand. Gloves are made of synthetic leather, which is lightweight. TPR heavy-duty knuckle and back protects hands from injuries. Hook and loop wrist for a clenched tight fit, and wing thumb for flexibility. Red silicone fingers and double palm for oil resistance. Index finger is compatible with touchscreens. Work gloves are ASTM ANSI Level 3 certified for light cut hazards. The Westchester brand is made in Vietnam. The tester cut through the rubber but not through the glove. The front side of the glove also held up well. Compared to the VGO, there was a slightly larger dent at 0.55 millimeters in the front of the Westchester. The dent in the back was 0.98 millimeters. At a price of $20 are these Mechanix impact gloves. Form-fitting Trex Dry material helps keep hands cool and comfortable. Flexible thermoplastic elastic cuff provides a secure fit with easy on and off flexibility. Closure provides secure fit for the wrist. Industrial grade hook and loop. Impact protection. Anatomically designed two-piece palm eliminates material bunching. The Mechanix brand is made in Vietnam. Unfortunately, the tester cut through both the front as well as the back side of the Mechanix gloves. It also left a pretty large dent in the front at 0.7 millimeters and 1.07 millimeters in the back. At a price of $25 is this Lamont brand. High dexterity synthetic leather. Extra wear palm patching. You can use these gloves with a touchscreen. TPR molded knuckle backs provide added protection. Machine washable. Lamont is stubborn about quality since 1907. The Lamont brand is made in China. The Lamont actually held up fairly well as the tester didn't cut through either side of the glove. It also did well with a 0.48 millimeter dent in the front of the glove and the best yet at 0.26 millimeters on the back side of the glove. At a price of $26 or $1 more than the Lamont is this Ironclad brand. Flexible finger impact protection. Designed with Duraclad reinforcements for abrasion-resistant performance. Maximum back-of-hand impact protection. Terry cloth sweat wipe on the back of the thumb. Synthetic leather finger sidewalls. The Ironclad brand is made in Indonesia. It looks like the tester cut through the back side of the Ironclad, but the front side held up really well. The Ironclad did better than average with a 0.58mm dent in the front and a 0.55mm dent in the back. At a price of $32, this Carhartt Ballistic brand is the third most expensive brand that we'll be testing. Textured breathable spandex with TPR back of finger and knuckle protection. Synthetic suede palm, fingers, and thumb with sure grip reinforcements. Vibration dampening padded palm. Neoprene cuff. Improved back of hand protection. Brow wipe keeps sweat out of the eyes. Hand washable. The Carhartt brand is made in Indonesia. The tester cut through the front side of the Carhartt Ballistic, but the back side held up extremely well. The dent in the front is 0.66mm and the back did the best yet at 0.23. At $35, the second most expensive brand that we'll be testing is made by Milwaukee. Palm is reinforced with additional leather layer to last longer. Soft top grain goatskin leather for maximum comfort. Keystone thumb for mobility. The Milwaukee gloves are rated for abrasion, cut, tear, puncture, and impact. The Milwaukee brand is made in China. While the Milwaukee does have a mark in the front of the glove, it held up extremely well. The Milwaukee did the best yet with a 0.26mm dent in the front and a 0.22mm dent in the back. Very impressive. At a price of $51, the most expensive brand we'll be testing is made by Endura. TPR anti-impact backing. Kevlar and composite filament fiber lining. ASTM cut level 4 protection. We're going to test that. Excellent protection from oil, water, and stains. The Endura gloves are made in Pakistan. Just like the Milwaukee, the Endura held up extremely well with minor cosmetic damage to the glove. At 0.54mm, the dent in the front was a little bit better than average. However, the back of the glove provided the best protection yet of all the brands with a dent of only 0.14mm. For front of the hand protection, the Milwaukee came out on top at 0.26mm, VGO 0.43, Wells Lamont 0.48, Endura 0.54, Westchester 0.55, and Ironclad 0.58. For back of hand protection, the Endura came out on top at 0.14mm, Milwaukee 0.21, Carhartt 0.23, Wells Lamont 0.26, and VGO 0.38. One of the main benefits of wearing gloves is to protect your hands from splinters and sharp objects like this honey locust thorn. So up next, let's see which brand offers the best protection. To test the gloves, I'll cut through a section of the finger from each of the gloves and I'll attach it to this test jig. I'll place the tester on top of the weight scale so we can measure how much downward force it takes to puncture the gloves. I'll be using a seam ripper to puncture the gloves. I'll use the drill press too to allow for a little bit better control applying the pressure. Let's go ahead and test the PVC dotted gloves first. And it only took 28 grams of pressure to puncture the glove. Let's see how much pressure it takes to puncture a PVC dot. Okay, 210 grams. Let's test the fingertip of the Amazon Basics first. 1,039 grams to puncture both layers of the fingertip. It only took 508 grams to puncture the single layer of the finger section. So 508 grams is just over 1 pound of force. Let's test the fingertip on the VGO first. 989 grams for the double layer fingertip. So the fingertip on the Amazon Basics actually did slightly better. Let's go ahead and test the single layer finger section. 889 grams for the VGO, which is quite a bit better than the single layer Amazon Basics. So VGO definitely provides better protection overall. Let's go ahead and test two sections of the Westchester finger. 909 grams to puncture 2 layers of fabric on the fingertip. 535 grams to puncture the single layer section. So the VGO definitely seems to offer better protection than the Westchester. Mechanix just has 1 layer of material. And the Mechanix did by far the best yet at 1,510 grams, taking the lead from VGO. Very impressive. Testing the Wells Lamont fingertip first. And the fingertip of the Wells Lamont did fairly well at 1,220 grams of pressure. The single layer section took 588 grams of pressure, so Mechanix remains in the lead. The Ironclad has 1 layer of material for the full length of the finger. The Ironclad moves into second place behind Mechanix at 1,018 grams. The Carhartt has 1 layer of material for the full length of the finger. And it only took 339 grams to puncture the Carhartt gloves, which is actually slightly better than the Amazon Basics gloves. The Milwaukee glove has just 1 layer of material for the full length of the finger. And the Milwaukee performed very well at 1,468 grams, but the Mechanix glove holds on to the lead at 1,510. The Endura has just 1 layer for the full length of the finger. Just like the Milwaukee, the Endura did very well at 1,438 grams and moves into third place behind the Milwaukee. So when it comes to puncture resistance, the Mechanix came out on top at 1,510 grams, but the Milwaukee was a close second at 1,468. The Endura did very well at 1,438, the Ironclad 1,018, and VGO 889 grams. I put together this next test device to measure abrasive wear. The arm of the device does articulate to keep the 2 fingers in contact with the abrasive materials at all times. There's padding under the tape, so the fingers on the tester are actually pretty soft, very similar to a real finger. As the fingers drag across the sandpaper, there's 7 pounds, 11.8 ounces of downward force on the fingers. The official testing standard calls for 180 grit sandpaper, which is what I'll be using. I'll also replace the sandpaper between testing each of the brands. After just one pass, some of the PVC dots are already worn off. After only 2 passes, the sandpaper is already worn through the glove. After only 2 passes, the fabric on the index finger for the touchscreen is already worn through, and the Amazon Basics made it a total of 3 passes before totally wearing through. Let's see how the VGO performs. After 10 passes, the VGO is still in great condition. The VGO is holding up a lot better than the Amazon Basics. After 23 passes, there's finally a hole that's worn through the VGO glove. Very impressive. Let's see how the Westchester performs. After only 5 passes, the wear is really beginning to show. So the Westchester held up fairly well at 18 passes across the sandpaper, but the VGO holds on to the lead with 23 passes. Testing Mechanix. And the Mechanix glove just didn't hold up as well as the VGO or the Westchester, only making it 13 passes across the sandpaper. I'm looking at the wear after each pass, and the Wells Lamont seems to be experiencing a little bit faster wear than some of the other brands. Unfortunately, there's already a hole in the Wells Lamont after only 12 passes. Testing the Ironclad. And the Ironclad name definitely seems to fit. After 20 passes, the glove is still holding up very well, definitely the best glove so far. And the Ironclad finally wore through at 55 passes, lasting more than twice as long as the competition. Very impressive. And the Carhartt is definitely holding up pretty good, but it's going to be very hard for it to beat the Ironclad. And the Carhartt did very well at 23 passes and moves into second place tie with the VGO. Testing Milwaukee. After 11 passes, the Milwaukee is still holding up very well. After 36 passes, there's finally a small hole that's worn through in the Milwaukee. So let's keep on going to see how long it takes to wear through the inner liner. And there's finally a small hole that's worn through the inner lining at 53 passes. Testing the Endura brand. Just like the Milwaukee, the Endura uses ghost skin, and the Endura is holding up very well. And a small hole is finally worn through the Endura at 34 passes. So let's keep on going to see how long it takes to wear through the Kevlar lining. So a total of 45 passes to finally wear through the glove as well as the lining. For the abrasive resistance testing, the Ironclad came out on top at 55 passes. The Milwaukee wore through the outer layer at 36 passes and both layers at 53. Endura wore through the outer layer at 34 and both layers at 45. The VGO and the Carhartt also did very well, tying for 4th at 23 passes. I put together this next test setup to figure out which gloves are the best for resisting cuts. These 2 pieces will hold a 1-inch cross section of the palm area of the glove. I'll also attach a 5-pound weight to each piece using a string. This will make sure that we apply right at 10 pounds of tension to each of the samples. Just to make sure we have a fair test, I'll replace the razor blade with a new one after each test. Testing the PVC dotted gloves first. And it only took 3 passes to cut through the PVC glove. The Amazon Basics has 2 layers of material as well as some padding. And the Amazon Basics performs slightly better than the PVC gloves, making it 4 passes. Just like the Amazon Basics, the VGO also has 2 layers as well as quite a bit of nylon stitching. And the VGO gave up after 4 passes. The fabric on the Westchester just doesn't seem to be as thick as the VGO. Unfortunately, the Westchester only made it 3 passes, the same as the PVC dotted gloves. And the palm area of the Mechanix glove definitely seems to be more robust than the previous brands. And the Mechanix gloves moves into the lead after finally cutting through after 6 passes. The fabric used for the palm area of the Wells Lamont seems pretty thin. And the Wells Lamont gave up after only 2 passes. The palm area of the Ironclad definitely seems to be more robust than most of the other brands. 5 passes, so the Ironclad moves into second place behind the Mechanix. And the palm area of the Carhartt glove has a couple layers of material. And the Carhartt brand made it 4 passes before letting go. The Milwaukee's inner lining is designed to resist cuts. And the Milwaukee's outer layer made it just 5 passes, but there's still an inner layer, so let's keep on going. And the cut-resistant fabric is doing a great job of providing protection, and it just won't give up. Wow, it finally gave up after 97 passes. And the outer layer of the Endura held up the best yet at 8 passes. So let's keep on going to see how well the Kevlar lining holds up. And the Endura moves into second place behind Milwaukee with a total of 16 passes. So the Milwaukee came in on top at 97 passes, Endura came in second at 16, Mechanix 6, and Ironclad 5. This next test will let us figure out which brand offers the best grip. I'll slide 2 wooden dowels in the first and the third finger. Then I'll place 2 fingers over the PVC. I'll rotate the fabric on the finger so that it's facing the PVC. Then I'll pull down on the clamp until the glove begins to slide down the PVC. And the PVC dotted gloves actually provide pretty good grip at 4.2 pounds. Unfortunately, the Amazon Basics gloves are pretty slick and just don't offer too much grip at 1.6 pounds. The VGO did quite a bit better than the Amazon Basics at 2.6 pounds, but the PVC dotted gloves remain in the lead at 4.2 pounds. The Westchester did slightly better than VGO at 3 pounds. The Mechanix glove just doesn't seem to offer very good grip at only 1.8 pounds. The Wells Lamont began slipping at only 2.6 pounds. The Ironclad did the best yet at 4.4 pounds, taking the lead from the PVC dotted gloves, which did nearly as well at 4.2. The Carhartt glove just doesn't offer very much grip and began slipping at only 2.2 pounds. And the Milwaukee gloves are made of genuine goatskin, which offers pretty good grip. And the Milwaukee moves into first place at 6 pounds. Just like the Milwaukee, the Endura also uses goatskin. And the Endura did nearly as well as the Milwaukee at 5.6 pounds. So the Milwaukee brand offers the best grip at 6 pounds, Endura came in second at 5.6, Ironclad third at 4.4, PVC dotted gloves 4.2, and the Westchester 3 pounds. So which brand is the best? The Milwaukee came in first or second in every category with an average finish of 1.5. However, the Milwaukee gloves are pretty expensive at $35. The Endura also did very well with an average finish of 2.5, but it comes with an even bigger price tag of $51. At a price of $26, the Ironclad seems like a pretty good value. It came in on top for wear resistance and did pretty well for puncture and cut resistance. With an average finish of 4.5, the VGO also seems like a pretty good value at $14. Even though it finished average in most categories, it does come with a below average price, making it a really good value. We destroyed a lot of gloves today, and it seems like the statement buy once, cry once really does apply when it comes to gloves. All the videos in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and look forward to next time.